So this video is about a follow-up of a case we have been following for a couple of months now, which is the case of Vitali, the YouTuber. He was, detained in the Philippines about doing pranks and different offenses, public offenses to the moral, um, moral offenses basically to the Filipino people, and doing pranks, that's against the law. Some of these very offensive pranks very much against the law in the Philippines, and some other parts of the world too. But I think he took it to the extreme of doing the things that he was doing. So the case has been, very much frozen. Frozen meaning he was forced in detention center. Then he was sent to a different jail, to a different island in the Philippines, to a maximum security facility, in which he's been basically frozen in time. I mean, 2 months could be long. 2 months could feel uh like 20 years. 2 years. I mean, 20 years. It could be, being in jail is not a really I suppose, away from family members, away, can't even sleep well. I mean, the thing is very much, we have been talking about that for the few other videos before, but now that what's the new thing that had come up, and the reason we are bringing up the issue again is that his father, a Russian, I'm not going to name his name, but because he's a private citizen, of course, private person, um, and he hasn't talked to the media precisely because of the parliament. Some people took pictures of him, but he arrived to the Philippines. He's a Russian citizen, of course, born in Russia, and well, the mother was the one who emigrated to the United States, and they've been, since Vitaly was 14 years old. But now that his father has arrived to, what does that mean? Does that make any difference, really? Is this going to change the history? I mean, the history meaning what's going to be the destiny? I mean, the destiny of a young man. I say young man because 33 years old fellow. I mean, a young. It's like a comparing to most of most of us, I say, in the YouTube community, which we've been following life in retirement. People retire, in the Philippines, in Central America, Latin America. Um, Comparing is a baby, basically. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's a baby, but of course, 33 years old man is a young fellow which is, in his case, still maturing. I mean, maturing meaning the crazy things that he did, and for which he's in trouble, because he has broken the law. That's what the evidence suggests. But now that, does that make any difference that his father arrived to the Philippines to see his son? Let's establish that first. Establish, the idea of, well, what if now that the father is there, is that going to make any difference? What if the grandmother arrived to the Philippines? The grandmother, the uncle, the mother, the cousin, his other siblings, his other family members, friends. I mean, would this make would this make, in the court system that in which you have plenty of people supporting you, supporters, even friends or followers in YouTube, right? His followers in YouTube. What if they make, they arrive in this court, if he has 10 million followers, in YouTube. I mean, what if only like 100,000 people arrive to the court? I mean, he has followers in the Philippines too. Of course, I'm not suggesting that they should go to court. All I'm saying is that now that the issue of that his father arrived to the Philippines, he's going to be most likely following. I mean, he's going to be talking on behalf of his son. But what about his, who knows? I mean, he has followers most likely in the Philippines too. I don't know. I mean, he may get some support there. I mean, moral support or online support, or even their presence, in front of the court. I mean, uh, Filipino is a free society. It's a democracy that works there, and they have people can gather outside, some places, and of course, in support of a cause, right? I'm not saying they should protest. All I'm saying, if they want to have their voice. No, perhaps they could. I don't know. I mean, it's possible. I mean, of course, they need. I'm sure that they written permission from a written permission from local municipalities, everything within everything within the law. I mean, everything. Of course, I mean, if he, like Vitali's father arrived to the Philippines because he's lawfully was permitted to enter the country. The same thing. I mean, if you follow if I follow the law anywhere I am, like in the Philippines too, or any country you are, I consider myself like a global citizen, a global being. I never thought of the idea. I never after so many years living in different countries and meeting different people, I have met so many different people from even Filipinos. I mean, Russian. I have people with not Russian nationality, Africa. While in college, I remember meeting fellows from Kenya, from Ghana, from Uganda, from South Africa, from I mean South America, you name it. I mean, so many people that, and we all have in common that we are good people. Okay, that's I think I see myself as a good people. I make mistakes. I'm not a perfect person. I sometimes I could have done wrong, man. But if you have, just like any human being, you can apologize. You have make correction. I mean, we all do wrong. We all make mistakes in life, and of course, I'm sure that Vitali's father, just like I'm a father too, and I'm talking this. I thought about this video about a couple of days ago, and I said, should I say something about this? I don't want to get bored. I mean my my subscribers or people watching this, but about the issue of Vitali's the YouTuber in jail and everything. But I mean the human parts, guys. Let's dig in a little bit on the human element of this. I mean, what is connecting us? I mean, what is the connection? I have never met this person, this family, Vitali's, this YouTuber's family or anything. Well, it could have been anything. It could have been any other person from South America, even American YouTuber in trouble, or Central America. That doesn't matter. But is the connection? I mean, we all have interconnect. Of course, my first connection is to the victims of these pranks. Of course, that's my first concern. Is what is if they're getting therapy? These people got really scared. Are they suffering from anxiety? I mean, are there psychological damage that have been done to these people that were victims of these pranks? I mean, the whole thing is we have to see the whole picture as not just jumping right there and like having an opinion on. Of course, we all have our opinion, but to destroy somebody. I mean, whether even a person who has done wrong. I mean, let's go to the roots of what how Vitali became what he is today. I mean, his personality, his strange personality, right? I mean, something that he's looking for, something that he's not able to find in life. I mean, even after so many becoming a wealthy person. I mean, social media made him a wealthy person. This YouTuber Vitali, but his father, just like any other father, he's there in the Philippines. Perhaps he wants to, make a statement in front of the judge about his son, just like any other son. I mean, in the gospel we learn that God, John 3:16, right? He gave his only begotten son for whoever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life. By the way, I'm not comparing this to, of course, to Jesus. I'm not here to compare a human. Nobody. I mean, Jesus was perfect human being, human and a God at the same time. Okay, so but I'm just trying to bring the father figure of any of us as God's creation. That God, even the male figure, of course, many female mothers are also parents, and single moms are dads too. So I'm here to to recognize that step. That's a positive step from Vitali's father, who is now in the Philippines. That maybe he wants to make a statement and tell the judge and tell the victim and talk to the victims. Maybe I don't know. I mean, maybe he's trying to talk to the victims and he's apologize for his son for what his son did to them. Maybe they want to meet in person. So the victims of Vitali's pranks victim can see the human part of this, the human meaning that there is a father behind this personality, this prankster. There is a mom, there is a cousin, there is Vitali never married. I don't think he has any children, but what if he has any children? It could be just any other next door guy, next door person who made huge mistakes. And of course, that he, after a couple of months of being in jail, he's paying for it already. He's already paying big, huge. I mean, just hell. In basically, this is hell on earth. I mean, if you're in a jail system like this, any jail. I'm not that's just any jail you are. I mean, people, uh, of course, suffer. I mean, there's pain involved. We all suffer pain. We all have happiness when it's. We all enjoy when it's joy. We enjoy hunger. I mean, they're all our senses is full of emotions. So I'm sure that I've never visited his jail cell to talk to him. I wish I could. Which I'm someday. Who knows? I can do it, right? And and I'll try. But guys, like him or any other person in jail, not just him, but going back to his the father, being there, must be feeling pain too as a father. We feel as a father, we feel the pain of our sons. I'm a father too, and we have to look at that part of the story too, the part of father and son relationship. What was like being a father? What was like Vitali when he can tell when Vitali was 6 years old when he was born, where he was born, 6, 7 years old, 8, 9, 10, and if the father and mother, Vitali's mother, went through a divorce, I mean, though the whole situation might have impact, of course, that if there was a dysfunctional family, all those issues. I mean, if you were bringing in front of the judge, which is here, I'm sure that the judge, the jury, or the prosecutor, or the victims of this prankster Vitali, I mean, they're parents too. I'm sure they're gonna listen to this fellow, this Vitali's father, about the human part of of a person. I mean, I'm sure that Vitali has good part of his personality too. Not everything is what we see. What's on YouTube and social media, that's what we think he is, maybe. But maybe he has other good part of him that we don't know about it. We're gonna find that through his father. That now he's in the Philippines. I'm sure that he's trying to. It's not just. This is not just to advocate on behalf of him. I'm just digging into the human part of this. Now that the father arrived there, maybe he's trying. He's bringing a message from the family, from the rest of the family. Of course, the whole family can't travel to the Philippines. That could cost thousands and thousands of dollars. And of course, the support system that maybe moral support that Vitali needs being in jail, that somebody cares for him. I mean, he care. What if nobody comes to visit him, or no allowed? He has no family in the Philippines, so maybe he has a few friends. Who knows? But going further, I mean, what difference gonna make? Well, maybe he could ask for mercy. He could ask for leniency. He could ask for that for reduction of sentences. Who knows, because of good behavior in jail, because of good deed that he had done for society, because maybe he with all his winning in YouTube past in the previous 10, 15, he's been in YouTube for 15 years over. So those who is better to describe, to tell the human part of it, the good part of Vitali, right? Than his father, that who knew him. I mean, of course, as a father, since Vitali was born in Russia, of course, he's a Russian American, but Vitali was born in Russia, then moved to the United States, and so basically, I mean, now that he's there, he's remaining, silent, meaning private. He's not making that many statements. He's hiring a good lawyer to doing a follow up, what his situation is, what's the reasoning, talk to the government people, prosecutors. I'm sure that something good is gonna come, positive is gonna come out. Of course, when I'm touching this issue, I don't want to be like a prejudice or like one-sided person. Of course, we have to, we have to seek for the truth after all, and justice. Without truth and justice, there's no peace. We have heard that before, but in every case situation, if I was in his shoes, I'll look for the truth also. I mean, if I'm the father of Vitali's father, I'll look for the truth. I mean, I have, we all have gone through situation if our son does something inappropriate or something. I mean, who knows? I mean, in school, even a little something going in school, we go to the school system to find out, to find out the truth about what happened, right? Right? Any kid, have, we all have children. Those, well, not all have children, but for most of us who have children, you know that kids get in trouble. I got in trouble too when I was, a teenager. When I was in my childhood, I got in trouble. My father back then had to deal with it. So we all deal with different situations with our kids, man. Most of our kids are good, very good, good, good behaving kids, of course. But sometimes it can happen, and we all get in trouble. I remember those days. But so bringing that part of, to that part of Vitali's family member, especially his father now, that I would say, even the mother comes to the Philippines, that will be the next step. Maybe when, of course, when the process begins. The process has even, most likely is on the waiting list. I mean, in a doc like this. So whenever the file comes to the top, they're gonna, the immigration system in the Philippines and the prosecutor, the court system are gonna go to that, because the other people waiting in line to get in front of the judge, and the process begins. Of course, we all, if we're in that kind of trouble, anywhere we want a fast, fast and speedy, process to go, whatever happens, right? But we want a fast justice. I mean, speedy justice. That means less spending of money, less, in attorney's fees, less draining of your brain, less stress. Meaning, the faster the better. Instead of rotting in jail, I mean, just sitting in jail. I mean, a jail system which is, of course, they have over 120,000 in the Filipino, in the entire country. There are around 120,000 prison, inmates. That's a lot of people, for well, if you compare to the 120 million people who are which are the population of the Philippines. It doesn't seem that much, but that's lots of people. Some other countries, like in the US, there are around 2 million people in jail, which is a lot of people too. But of course, 2 million people is less than comparing to the 340 million American population as a whole. Is still like less than 1% of the population in jail. And of course, if you count homeless population in the US, which is approaching now 1 million people, that's people living on the street, homeless. This like also being in jail. I mean, people with mental issue, which is a different topic, of course. But we still talk. We're still going back to the Vitali situation. I mean, the father arriving there is a big, huge step, and hopefully it's something will resolve. We all learn from that experience, and I just want to put my my little thought about that. And please, if you agree with what I'm saying, or even if you disagree, let's debate this. Let's in different cultures we see family issues, family values in different way, guys. Some more countries are more liberal countries, some other countries are more, I don't want to go into the politics of it being conservative liberal, but some different countries have different societies, like in the US or Southeast Asia. Family values are viewed in a different way. Even marriage relationship is viewed in a different way. So the father being there doesn't mean that the mother shouldn't be there either, but she could have been the mother, right? But family value is so important. If this channel I can put my little something on, of course, I think it's not it's not waste of time to touch this issue. So sometimes in Western societies, if you get in trouble, you are left on your own. If you're in a hospital, nobody comes to, not even family members. I mean, people are very much, you are left, you have insurance, they say, there's good hospital, and now, well, if I have a time, some family members will come, one or two, a friend will come for 15 minutes. I've been at the hospital system in the US, and I had nobody come to, my son came, but nobody else, I mean, to come to see him. But sometimes in other countries, I mean, but people are with in their culture are warm. If you're in jail, if you are at the hospital, that's what I mentioned. Uh, people, 100 people come. Relatives, even people who are not relatives, will come and see, find out. People who you barely know. If you're in a hospital in Latin America, you're gonna be surprised. The doctors have very hard time to push out all these people are doing here. They get surprised when you visit. There you have 20 people arriving at the hospital just to see somebody injured or somebody in jail. That's warm. So people are very hard. In their hearts, very warm. Very warm in the heart. People are very close knit communities in because of the culture. I'm not saying one is good, one is bad. It's just the systems are different, the cultures are different. You know, so I assume that being Vitali's father is going to make a positive statement there. He's going to make a good. That's scoring points on behalf of his son, which is valid. I mean, why you hate? I mean, you shouldn't hate the father, right? Because this was what the son did, right? Of course, our children becomes basically we are the role model of our children. All of us. I am talking in generally speaking. In any society, we are the role models. So become our children becomes who we are very much, right? Of course, they reach an adult age, 18 years old. They do whatever they want. I mean, it's not my fault. It's not Vitali's father's fault. I'm not saying it's his fault, but the son's personality, the family. I mean, whatever the children sees at home. I mean, that's the first school of life. It's at home. Whatever my son sees me doing, or learn from me at home, that's what he becomes very much. I mean, partly that's very much, but he learned many things on the street. That's no, on the street, at school, with classmates, with on the street basically. And he's with a child. This could be male or female. After reaching 18 years of age, in the Honduran case, Central America is 21 years old. I mean, in Latin America, most Latin America, right? But they do whatever, they make their own decision, adult decision, they feel the consequences. I mean, they have to pay for the consequences, and I'm sure that Vitali, that's what's happening with him. But good thing, it's a positive positive thing that Vitali's father arrived to the Philippines. Guys, so please drop me a comment if you have, any comments about this important issue. Of course, I'll respond as much as I can, all your comments, which, there was a viewer, when a week ago, a little more than a week ago, he says, why I'm talking too much about this case and not focus on other issues, retirement. Yes, most of my channel is about retirement. Most of the channels about what's going on in the Philippines, what's in Central America and Latin America as a whole. What is the expat life? Expats, life abroad, right? But this Vitali is another expat. Now that is another expat too. I mean, he was just visiting. That's one of the kind of expat, meaning that even people who just visit as a tourist in the Philippines, they're very much part of the community. What can happen, even to me too. I mean, as an expat living abroad, and by the way, I consider myself expat all my life. I haven't been since very much early age, childhood. So expat meaning you go everywhere to live in different local for different reasons, guys. I mean, I I hate the idea that when people says, "Oh, this is my country, this is my house, this is my car." I mean, it's so selfish. I mean, everything I hear that, I just say, I don't know what to think, my guys. I mean, it's everything about me. It's so selfish I mean, as long as nothing happens to me. Oh, by the way, the neighbor, they could get in trouble for anything across the street, uh, because of their immigration status, or because of who they are, what their political views are. Of course, but if it doesn't touch me, as long as I'm okay and with my little family here, even Christian families, people who call themselves Christian, that's the worst hypocrites that I have seen is Christian people thinking like that. Oh, they go to the church on Sunday. I'm a Christian too, but I that's it just is amazing. I mean, they go to the Bible with their families, but they don't. It's a total. Jesus teaches all about those Christian kind of believers like the Pharisees. They all want to make you believe that they how they, but they lack total humanity. I mean, so hopefully I never become like that. If I make mistakes sometimes, even in my own life, sometimes I make mistakes. I never say I don't, but I have to be quick to realize that this is not good. I mean, this is when I make mistakes. So thanks guys for watching, and drop me a comment, and let's keep the debate going, and see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.